Good morning, everyone. It is that time again. Time for the morning scriptures. First, I want to light my candle. Hi, candle. God, you smell good. Oh, come on. I think I put candles in jars. Every time you buy a candle, they should send you with one of the. Every time you buy a candle in a jar, they should send you with one of those big, long lighters. Like, here's a way for you to light that sucker. Because we know once it gets burned halfway through, you ain't going to be able to unless you got a stick. All right. God likes to make early house calls. I'm really sorry about the stream last night, folks. I really need to pay attention to that mic. Today is the 18th of September. And yesterday was the lunar eclipse. I hope everybody's back into the flow of things now that we went through the solar eclipse, the Mercury retrograde, and now the lunar eclipse. On a full harvest moon. Not just a full harvest moon, but it was a full harvest super moon. So, yeah, interesting things. And dwell there. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Psalms 91:1. Hidden in a sure place, known only to God and you, no secret that no power on so secret that no power on earth can even find it. But my beloved children, you must dwell therein, no fitful visit, a real abiding. Make it your home, your dwelling place. Over that home shall my shadow rest, to make it doubly safe, doubly secret. Like brooding mother bird wings that shadow rests. How safe, how sure you must feel there. When fears assail you and cares trouble you, then it is because you have ventured out of that protecting shadow. When the only thing to do is to creep back into shelter again. So rest. After God calls, Jesus will call. He said, seek to please me above all else. Let that goal be your focal point as you go through this day. Such a mindset will protect you from scattering your energy to the winds. The free will I bestowed on you comes with awesome responsibility. Each day presents you with choice after choice. Many of these decisions you ignore and thus make by fault, and thus make by default. Without a focal point to guide you, you can easily lose your way. That's why it's so important to stay in communication with me, living in thankful awareness of my presence. You inhabit a fallen, disjointed world where things are constantly unraveling around the edges. Only a vibrant relationship with me can keep you from coming unraveled too. And that's why we start each day with these scriptures, so that we can remember where our focus should lie. The Stoics. Dealing with pain. Whenever you suffer pain, keep in mind that it's nothing to be ashamed of, and that it can't degrade your guiding intelligence, nor keep it from acting rationally and for the common good. And in most cases, you should be helping by the saying of Epicurus, that pain is never unbearable or unending, so you can remember these limits and not add to them in your imagination. Remember, too, that many common annoyances are pain in disguise, such as sleepiness, fever, and loss of appetite. When they start to get you down, tell yourself you are giving in to pain. Marcus Aurelius, Meditations 764. In 1931, on a trip to New York City, Winston Churchill was struck crossing the street by a car going more than 30 miles an hour. A witness at the scene was sure that he had been killed. He would spend some 8 days in the hospital with cracked ribs and severe head wound. Churchill somehow retained consciousness. When he spoke to the police, he went to great lengths to insist that he was completely to blame and wanted no harm to come to the driver. Later, the driver came to visit Churchill at the hospital. When Churchill heard that the driver was out of work, he tried to offer him, the man who had nearly killed him, some money. More than his own pain, he was worried about the publicity from the accident would hurt the man's job prospects and sought to help now how he could. Nature is merciful, he later wrote in a newspaper article about the experience, and does not try her children, man or beast, beyond their compass. It is only where the cruelty of man intervenes that hellish torments appear. For the rest, live dangerously, take things as they come, dread not, all will be well. In the years to come, Churchill and the world would witness some of the most hellish torments that man could invent. Yet he, along with many of our ancestors, endured that pain as well. As horrible as it was, eventually all would be well again, because like Epicurus says, nothing is unending. You just need to be strong and gracious enough to get through it. And I just remembered something, so I will be right back to discuss more. Wow. I read all 3 of those in less than 7 minutes this morning. That's insane. I'll be right back. And we are back. Quarterly. Gotta do the quarterly. That's what I forgot. I knew I forgot something. Forsaken by God. Mark 15:33 through 41. Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. 15:33 through 41. When the 6th hour had come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. And at the 9th hour, Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, Eloi, Eloi, lama sabachthani, which is being interpreted, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? And some of those who stood by when they heard it said, Behold, he calleth Elijah. And one ran and filled a sponge full of vinegar and put it on a reed and gave it to him to drink, saying, Let him alone. Let us see whether Elijah will come to take him down. And Jesus cried with a loud voice and gave up his spirit. And the veil of the temple was rent in two from the top to the bottom. And when the centurion stood opposite, saw that he so cried and gave up his spirit, he said, Truly this man was the Son of God. There were only women looking on far off, among whom were Mary Magdalene and Mary the mother of James the Lesser and Joses and Salome, who also, when he was in Galilee, had followed him and ministered unto him, and many other women who came up with him into Jerusalem. What are Jesus' only words on the cross in Mark? What does Christ's death ultimately mean for all of us? Eloi, Eloi, sabachthani. The Gospel of Mark presents the cross as a very dark place, both physically and spiritually. A supernatural darkness descended on Calvary from about noon on Friday until about 3 p.m. And when the 6th hour had come, there was darkness over the whole land until the 9th hour. The words of Jesus on the cross are called the cry of dereliction. As he prays, crying out to God, asking why he had been forsaken, he is quoting from Psalms 22:1. Other references to the same psalms occur in Mark 15:24 and 29, indicating that the scriptures were being fulfilled in the death of Jesus. Even the evil plotting of men, the will of God, is being fulfilled. Jesus' words from the cross are reported in Aramaic along with translation. The words, my God, or Eloi, Eloi, in the verse, a transliteration of Aramaic Elohi. It would be easy to hear Jesus as calling for Elijah, Aramaic Eliha, which means my God is Yahweh. This is the mistake that some bystanders make. What becomes striking about this message is the parallel it has to the baptism of Jesus in Mark 1:9 through 11. For instance, John baptizes Jesus, and then in Mark 15, Jesus' baptism. In John, the baptism of John, the Elijah figure in Mark 1:9 through 11, and then here they believe he's calling to Elijah. In the baptism, when Jesus was baptized, the heavens split open and God's voice came through. And this one on the cross, the veil is split, not from the bottom to the top, but from the top to the bottom. There is no way that any man could have done that. And the Spirit was there. And Jesus expires. And God's voice proclaiming, Beloved Son. And here the centurion calls Jesus the Son of God. What these parallels suggest is that at the baptism of Jesus in Mark 1 is the beginning of his ministry. As prophesied in Daniel 9:24 through 27, what occurs in Mark 15 at the cross is the culmination or goal of his ministry, as he dies as a ransom for many. The death of Jesus on the cross also fulfills part of the prophecy of Daniel 9:24 through 27, and the tearing of the temple veil points to the fulfillment of the sacrificial system, as type meets anti-type, and a new phase of salvation history begins. The veil splitting was a symbology that no longer were people to be kept from the Holy of Holies. As God calling this morning, we have a right to be in that shadow, to be in the shadow of God, to be in his holy dwelling place. And for the last thought, it says, even despite the evil plotting of humanity, God's purposes were fulfilled. Why should this help us learn that regardless of what happens around us, we can still trust God and know that his goodness will ultimately prevail? It doesn't matter what man may do to us. God has a bigger plan, a much bigger plan for all of us. We don't know his purpose. We don't know our purpose. We don't know his plan. I'm so tired, guys. I need my coffee. I need to start going to sleep earlier and waking up earlier. But you guys are important to me. This message that I have to give, it needs to be given. So I try to do my best every day to get it through. I hope you have a wonderful day. And I promise to do some research on the names of God, so we can do that later. This weekend, probably. I love you all. May you guys have blessings. Oh. Oh, hi, King Joker. Maybe I'll stay for a bit longer. This was a short stream so far. No, I should probably put my eyebrows on, don't you think? Oh, where's my eyebrow pen? Eyebrows. Here they are. You may ask a question. Yes, you may. My day's going okay. I'm just tired. I need to grab my coffee. What is your question? I would believe that. I think that possibly the cavemen could have done that. They started looking to the sky and to the stars and did become curious. But I also think that there were extenuating circumstances that allowed them to gain the knowledge. Because, I mean, come on, if somebody lives in the caves their whole life and they don't know and they have no way to gain this intelligence, something had to intervene. Something had to descend and be like, hey, here's some extra information. The word alien and angel is the same thing in Hebrew. They would. They would. Or three, or just some mystical light creatures or just something they've never seen before. They would be scared. And they would not know what to do. They would probably cower in fear. But can you think about it? If you think about, we're dwelling on Earth here, right? What happens one day when all of a sudden we don't wake up here. We wake up and there's this huge ball of ever flowing, moving, like liquid light in front of us. We can only imagine how we would react. That's like us being in front of God, or that which created us all. That's when I think about like this higher power, it's like this ever-flowing, morphing ball of ever-changing color and light and shadow all mixed together. If you stick around and you follow and watch some of the VODs and the YouTube, we discuss like the Hermetic principles and the Bhagavad Gita and all these creationary stories and where we came from. Nobody can fully know. But yeah, no. See, that's the thing. Man did make religion. And that's what it talks about in the Hermetic principles even. Man made religion, but spirit is spirit and will always be spirit. So I don't consider myself religious, though I do read from all these man-made religious books. There's key to truth in them all, but I'm a spiritualist. I let my spirit guide me. Yes, that is exactly what the Hermetics say. And when people ask me where do I come from, I say I am at the tip of a synapse in the mind of the all. We are all just imagining. The Hermetics say we are the all. Okay, so last night I read it, but of course it was on mute, so nobody heard it. But it says, while all is in the all, it is equally true that the all is in all. To him who truly understands this truth has come great knowledge. My son literally one day, 8 years old, okay? Oh, he was 7 at the time. He said, "Mom, God is in us, so we're all God." And I said, yes and no. God is in all of us, and we are all in God. But that does not make us God. And in that principle that I'll be reading tonight, it says, the all is in all of us, and we are all in the all, but we are not the all. So as an author, I create a character. I am in that character. That character is part of me. But that character is not me. So I can't say, like, a Hamlet. Hamlet would not say, I am Shakespeare. No, but Shakespeare did come up from it. Well, this is another argument that I get into with Christians. My biggest argument to them is, God is both good and evil. God created the devil. God created us. So God has both positive and negative aspects. Otherwise, we would not be created in its image. It says in Scripture, and they created us in their image, both male and female, in their image. Later on, it says, then they created woman, and that's a totally different topic. And I could talk about it for hours going on tangents, but God created everything, good and bad, of itself. Everything, and that's another one of the Hermetic principles is the principle of paradox. That both these things are true at the same time. How can they be true? Go ahead. I love these theories. That's what we're here for, is just to discuss these things. And Hitler didn't start out bad, but a lot of shit happened to him, and it's just he can become a hero. Anybody can become a hero, a villain, or an anti-hero. It's about their perspective and how they want to view the world and what happens to them. We all are given free will and choice. Ooh, that's a long one. Some people do have that theory that we are just an evolutionary experiment done by angels. But what they did and what these people think is they were experimenting to try to inhabit us, to try to live in this land. They had to, and that's how we come up with. Mm, well, because God said, I give you this world. I give you to care and to tend for this world. And mankind decided, oh, we're going to tend to this world, but then we're also going to make life a lot easier for ourselves. So, and that's when they started making it easy for themselves. That's, I think, when society and everything started to fall apart. Yeah, we make these grand cities and societies, but really, what good do they do? They destroy the environment. They cause people to become lazy and complacent. I'd rather be living with the animals, to tell you the truth. I trust an animal more than I trust a human any day. Because animals don't hurt each other for no reason. People do. But yeah, there's a theory that angels, they manipulated with our DNA so that they could have a life here. So that they could infiltrate us. Live through us. I have a theory also that we are just avatars in which God can inhabit. Like programs in a computer. We're just NPCs. And then one day God decides, oh, I want to play with this NPC today. So I'm no longer an NPC. I become the main character. But everybody is the main character in their own stories. The elders of the Mount of Zion actually tell us that the truth will be revealed to us through the media. And if you check out these shows and these movies that are coming out, it's about multiple alternate realities, the multiverses. It's about so much. Those are just top of my head. Like, I watched Everything Everywhere All at Once. That is what it's like to be God. Like, God's everywhere all at once. Hello, Red Dragon. And that's why mankind cannot fathom the mind of the all. In the Hermetic philosophies, it tells us that too, that no man can I think that they're a lot further along in their technological advancements. If they weren't, they wouldn't be able to help us. Nice to meet you too. My brain just went poof. Oh, a little history about me, since you guys are new here. I'm Audi HD. I have a pet ball python. It's actually my son's. I had one when I was about 16 or 17. And he heard that, and so for his 7th birthday, he said, I want a snake. So he got a snake for his 7th birthday last year. I need to get him a new tank, but yes. It's very nice. I need to take him out more often and socialize with him again, but I don't do that too often anymore. Did you know that snakes actually suffer from severe depression and anxiety? Separation anxiety is the biggest thing. Like, literally, they will kill themselves. Yes, I used to drape it around my... I have 3 cats. Meow meow. Meow meow meow. And they're coming running. Meow meow meow. Meow meow meow. Come here. Say meow meow. Yep, there's Miss Trixie. There's my beautiful lady. I only have 1 snake. Boys, come. Say meow meow. Come on, Max. Turkey butt, get up here. Here's Max. Oh, that's awesome. Did you know that it's not actually the cat that you're allergic to? It's their saliva. It's the enzymes in their saliva that you're allergic to. And this is Wolf Boy. Daily dose of kitty smells. You were rolling around on the couch, weren't you? You could smell a cologne. Nope, it's the saliva in their tongue. So if you keep your cats clean and they don't necessarily have to clean themselves as often, then you'll have less allergic reactions. Speaking of your girlfriend. That's a cool name, Zara. He's Wolf Boy. You big lug. You're just a big sleepy bear. Yeah. You're welcome. Oh my god. My bed is made. Guys, I'm gonna get the cat cam out. The cat cam! Ah! Everybody loves the cat cam. Oh! And my light's falling. This camera over there. Kitty cat cam. Kitty cat cam. Let's see. Yes, Cappy is the ball python's name, and he was named that because my son. What is happening here? When we got him, he had caps on his eyes, and my son loves Super Mario, so. Oh, I don't know if I can take him out. He would be so mad at me. I have a VOD that has him on there. Wait, Cappy's sleeping right now. He's in my son's room. Can't bring him out with the cats all wild like this. Max, don't even think about that. Boy, that's your sister. Sadly, my cats are not fixed yet, so I have to watch them closely. Especially those two down there. My tuxedo is my beta. My female, she's my only female, so of course she's my alpha female, but she's my familiar. We thought we lost her yesterday. She was just in the bathroom. And Wolf Boy, the big old lazy guy up on the... No, so the glass is up. My son's in his room, he's got his dresser, and the snake tank is sitting up on the dresser. And the cats never get up there. I think they'd be more afraid of the snake than he is of them. Truth be honest. They're afraid of tiny humans, so... Well, I mean, ball pythons in general are just... I like to call them the scaredy cats of the snake world, because they just... That's why they're called ball pythons, is they curl up in a ball. But did you know, speaking of religion, that in some South African tribes, ball pythons are worshipped as gods? They are. There's a whole village that is just dedicated to the ball python. They believe that a lady and her children were saved by a ball python, and that's what founded the village. And so they have a temple dedicated to these ball pythons. He's 2 years old. He's 2.5 feet, a little over 2.5 feet long now. Yeah, that's true too. They don't, but of course people go out there and find them, and yeah. But yeah, so like these tribe, there's a temple just filled with ball pythons, and in the morning people wake up and there's ball pythons in their living room and their kitchen, like all over the town, and they just go throughout and they pick them up and they walk them back to the temple. That's the routine every morning. Oh, that is insane. Why oh hell no. They're ball pythons. They don't actually hurt anybody, and they only the females get up to, they can get up to 4 to 5 feet long, and the males only get to about 3.5, maybe 4 feet. What you're thinking of is the one that look like ball pythons, but they're bigger. Oh, that's fine. Yeah, those are constrictors, probably. Yeah. I'll do another video soon. I gotta clean his tank again. It's starting to smell. Well, yes and no. I might be a little scared just because I don't know which ones are venomous and which ones aren't. I would be a little scared because those constrictors get so big that they could eat a human being. Ball pythons I'm not so scared of because the biggest they get is to eat like a small rabbit. Like our snake, he eats rats. They're about this big around and like this long. But last time it took him an hour and a half to eat it, but that's insane. Crazy. Like it's because humans got no respect for nature anymore. Ah! Crazy. Cappy will put him around my neck, and he'll sit there and just squeeze a little bit, and like he'll hiss. And they talk to you. Oh my god, he talks to me. They eat. People think that snakes don't talk, but they do. Or animals don't talk, but they do. They understand you and they talk back. And the snake, when I feed him, he'll goes like this. Does he say thank you? Like, go ahead, question anytime. And he'll hiss. And I thought maybe he had a respiratory problem, so I looked it up. But his hissing wasn't like every time he breathed. It was just like... Like, it wasn't a breathing, repetitive, like... Had no pattern to it. It's pretty awesome. When I tell him his food's out, he knows. So, yeah. Ooh. For $5 million. I'd probably be trapped in the mall with silverback gorilla. Because snakes, they can hide, and then you'd be screwed. But a silverback gorilla, you can hide. What if he smells you? Dude, I would just find his shit, and I would cover myself in his shit if I had to. Yeah, snakes can go in the vents. They can drop down from the ceilings. No thank you. And 50 of them? I'd lose track. But the gorilla, like, yeah. It was nice talking to you too, Red Dragon. Shoot me a follow. And you can also follow me on YouTube. So if you don't catch my VODs in time before they drop off, then you can catch them on YouTube. And my son has a YouTube channel. You'll see more videos of his snake as it's grown up and as his tank has changed through my son's YouTube. So this, he changed his name. It's Crumble Bits, I think. Yeah, so but you have an opportunity to hide. And if he does charge you, you have an opportunity. You're in a mall, dude. You know how much stuff is in a mall? There's so many hiding spots. And if he did charge you, there's counters between you and him. There's like shelves you can pull down. Like there's stuff you could get away from him. Not only that, but eventually he'd tire himself out. Or he wouldn't know how to eat. So you could win his favor over. I don't know. I wanted to be like Jane Goodall at one point in life. I wanted to live with the gorillas, so that was a no-brainer question for me. Can you imagine? After 24 hours with a silverback gorilla and you trained him, not trained him, but you like tamed him because he could feel that you weren't. Dude, I know. I think she's dead now, but they said she lived with the gorillas. She didn't live with gorillas. She lived with chimps. She did more work with the chimpanzees population than she did with the gorilla population. But her studies were also those studies on those chimps and just the apes in general that she dealt with, they were skewed because once she put herself and she was living with them, they started to learn and they started to change their behaviors. Like, so yeah, she saw, but because she actually lived with them, it changed the outcome. It changed the parameters of the experiment. Sad but true. I'm looking for my phone. Don't you hate it when you lose things? Like, literally, how could I have lost it? I've been sitting in this spot the whole time. It's under my butt. That's how I lose things. Under my thighs. My big old thighs. I keep an eye on my favorite animal. Ooh, that's tricky. So when I was younger, I would have told you it was a horse. As I got older, I would have said it was a white tiger, white Bengal tiger, like not the Siberian tiger, but the white Bengal tiger, because it's a genetic anomaly. It's actually missing a chromosome. That's why it has white fur instead of orange. Now, I always tell people my favorite animal is a penguin. Don't ask me why. Oh, you can ask me why. Penguins mate for life. The emperor penguins in specific. But I love cats too. And if I was any animal, I'd be a big cat. I used to have this dream that I was in the jungle, me as a human, and like I was running on 2 feet. Yeah, they mate for life. But yeah, I was running on my 2 feet, and then I like started running on my hands and feet, and then I like morphed into this big, huge cat, which had the same color fur as my natural hair color. it was pretty cool. And my natural hair color has like every color naturally. It has I'm a brunette, I'm a blonde, I'm a raven, I'm a redhead. I got all of them. But right now I got black hair. Went back to natural. Of course, it's spooky season. Got to go back to my all natural. Not really, but just what I was born with. Speaking of, I need to put my eyebrows on because my son's right. It looks a little weird. Spiritual reason, yes. So, to honor God, and to honor myself, and to honor my family, and men, mostly men, I've seen, if people have their hair uncovered or not so modest clothing, they have this instant lust, like instant, like brain gone, not focus. But I'm a nudist at heart, and it hurts me because society, brain rot. One of the first sins was, oh my God, they realized they were naked. And that was wrong, and they didn't want God to see them in their nakedness. And whenever we get to the other side, do you think we're gonna really have to worry about that? I mean, it says we're gonna have new bodies, but what do we know what those bodies look like? What's God's body? God don't have a body. When he was born on earth in the form of man, both God and man, he dwelleth in us. He chose a body, said, you're going to birth my perfect avatar. Like the fifth element. She was supposed to be the perfect specimen. Well, Jesus was supposed to be the perfect specimen, right? Alright, eyebrows. I'll be right back. Actually, I can't see you guys, but you can see me. I'm going to sit right in front of this mirror and put them on. So yeah, when I get close enough to people and I, view them as family and know that there's no feelings like that towards each other, I walk around my house butt ass naked. I got female neighbors, and I'm like, my mom told them, I'm surprised she didn't open the door naked. It was nice meeting you too. Enjoy your breakfast. My breakfast will probably be at like 10 o'clock tonight. Just watch. Oh, that's perfect. I love when people ask me random things. I love when people interact in the streams. It actually keeps me going. See, I was going to end 30 minutes ago, but you popped in, started talking, and Red Dragon came in and started talking, and it went for more. And it starts with scripture, but it goes into fellowship, and that's the biggest thing. Well, I gotta get my day started too. My kids I babysit will be here in less than 30 minutes, so have a good day. This is the way. Peace be with you.